Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for taking time to join today in person or on Zoom to support the community. As part of that, Asaf and I are excited to present NoMoreManual.ai, where the first part of our vision is connecting every business automatically. Thank you. So businesses exchange information with each other. Some do this in an automated way, and they do this through something called an API. Others do this in a manual way, and this can be expensive. Others don't do it at all, and that has significant revenue loss on them. So 291 out of 300 IT enterprise leaders are reporting that they are struggling to automate this process. We solve this. So as an example of one of the customers we spoke with, a fintech loan company, they have 60 different business partners. 55 of them are communicated with in a manual way. They're losing 4x conversions. And some of you might be able to identify with this next part. How often are we asked by businesses to fill out forms that are similar or the same than we've already done before? That's because these systems are not connected. And so when the company did have APIs with 5 of their 60 customers, that led to $5 million more for a year.
So we're super excited to unlock all of this potential and enable businesses to connect with each other in new and exciting ways. And the way we do it, we are taking business processes and we make them into APIs. We create these APIs on top of the systems that are already in place, so engineers don't need to do any additional work, and they can just get the benefits of these new systems with a no-code solution. We start with form filling, like Derek said. And back to this example. So if you want to integrate with this workflow automatically, you'll point our system at this workflow. Oops. Okay, sorry about that. I'll just, to make sure that everyone follows, you'll point our system to this workflow. You'll give your data as it is. You already have this data in your system. You don't need to manipulate it. You don't need to transform it. You don't need to do anything. Just give it to us. We'll take it from there. And then our autonomous agent will take this data and the process that you're trying to automate. It will learn how to complete this task by itself. And when it finishes learning, it presents you with a summary of what it did. And you, as the person who's creating this API, can confirm, yes, this looks good to me. And when you do, there you go. You have an API endpoint. And from this point on, you can just use it to get the automated process that you wanted. And the cool thing is, because of our autonomous agent, if anything changes in this process, if they add a new field to this, to the form that they have, or they add another step, whatever it is, our agent will identify it. It will relearn how to complete the new process. So this API is always available for you, and you don't need to maintain it. And of course, we do all the basics like monitoring and alerting and all of that, like you'd expect in any API platform. So how are we different? By now, you probably understand that we are creating these new capabilities in a way that just does not exist. The opportunity, the companies like UiPath and MuleSoft that solve it today are very expensive enterprise products. They start at $75,000 a year. And because of that, they are not, the mid-market, even large enterprises don't use them, because on top of the $75,000 plus, you also need to have engineers who are dedicated to these automations, creating them and maintaining them. They will not go after this market because it will cannibalize their enterprise offering, and they want to focus there. Then on the other side of this spectrum, you have companies like Zapier, who are enabling this connectivity. And this is awesome, and they're doing a really awesome job in that. But they are not able to create new types of integrations with no code. Of course, you can also outsource your types of automations that you want and have people do it manually, perhaps offshore. But then you run the risk of security and the privacy and all of this data that you're sharing with humans to do some manual tests. And it's not very cheap.
And we offer 3 business model options. For example, the middle one, the business option, which is subscription costs $500 per month. And then transaction fees, 10 cents per API call or data information exchange. We've been consulting go-to-market experts on this and continue to adapt. And then for our market size, our research has uncovered that these businesses are spending at minimum $6,000 a month already to try to solve this. This aligns with our business pricing so far. In addition, we're after a parallel market of places such as Rapid API. They're a parallel company. They're over 50,000 customers. We want to overlap with them. And if we combine that, we're targeting 300 million in annual recurring revenue. Our go-to-market is to focus on the US. And in addition to that, we want to zero in on the majority of these IT enterprise professionals, leaders who are struggling in this area. We're going to zero in on fintech, given that there is a high pain in this area. Plus, there's like regulation scale issues that we're getting feedback on. And then in addition to that, our closest contacts are in enterprise finance. So our grander vision is that we are concerned about companies not surviving the AI revolution. We believe the first building block for people is an API. Every business should have one. And then from there, we can add AI, LLMs, large language models, and personalized insights on top of that to power them in their transformation.
So there's so much value to unlock here and connect businesses and enabling them these new opportunities. Both Derek and I have solved these types of problems in the AI space, in the automation space. I've started a company in sports gaming. My co-founder still runs it. I've been with Google for the past 5 years working on natural language processing, doing AI work and ML work, and being responsible for the data team, using LLMs for all sorts of projects. And I have a Stanford MBA.
Awesome. And I'm an AI product leader. I've worked at Bill.com and Automation Anywhere. I joined their AI orgs, and within their larger orgs, helped them go from zero, just about revenue, to millions in revenue. And then in addition to that, arguably, we were top in industry. In addition, I've co-founded 2 startups, more in the human rights space. And I also teach AI and product management part-time at UC Berkeley. Perhaps most relevant is that I've worked with customers such as KeyBank, saving them $5 million a year through automation. And we think that we can do this better and less expensive.
So if this is interesting to you, this vision and this space, please come talk with us after. Thank you very much for listening, and open for questions.
Any questions here in the room for the team? Yeah, got one in the back. Mike, did. Yeah, so the question is, how do you plan to deploy it, right?
Yeah, so some of these companies will want a more private solution, either within their VPC or within like an on-premise solution. As we discover more of like the specific customers, we'll be able to maybe answer this more specifically. I think that for the customers we've discussed so far, it did not come up as a main concern. But obviously, you're right that this is a big and important area for some of the potential customers.
Yeah, definitely security in that space. I have worked in an area where we've had banks starting to move to cloud. It's going to happen at some point, and so we see that trend there, and that should align with us trying to help the market.